How we do? Welcome, Jesse. Hey, look, I'll just do my wee thing. Welcome, everybody. My name's Hans, and I am from New Zealand. That's why it may sound funny. And this is the first episode of my new Blab called "What's Your Story," where we talk about the hardship, our struggles, our successes. So that's what we do. That's what the show's about. Where we're talking about all these cool things, focusing on the success. Because, without struggles, we can't succeed. It pushes us to our limits and it pushes us to being able to drive forward. Right, out with that. Jesse, how are you, my friend?
Yeah,
good?
Good, man. I'm good. Surviving and, thriving at the same time, of course. As you know, at the time of this show, because I know we're recording, you're going to put this up, I'm guessing, on YouTube or your website after the fact. This is, what's the date today? May 7th? 7th, 2016. So I'm, I just want to mention this because of the time. I'm in Alberta, Canada, and right now we are undergoing major devastating wildfires. This is going to grow. They believe as of today, right now it's about 1,000 square kilometers. They believe that's going to double over the next couple of days. So this is, yeah, and that's going to double. So it's just absolutely devastating. We lost, the majority of one town, Fort McMurray, which is, the major economic hub of Alberta, if not Canada. I just want to put that out there. Anybody watching now or in the future, if you don't mind this, Hands, if they want to help out, from around the world, I just want to help people in any way I can. So redcross.ca. Redcross.ca. If you guys want to, chip in any amount, our government will match that dollar for dollar. So I just want to throw that out there, just given the timing of things. The good news is everyone I know, and as far as we know, there's been no deaths, no serious injuries, anything like that. Just a lot of loss, a lot of devastation, of course. Homes have been lost. Lives have been changed forever. But, that in essence is what life is all about. We've just, it's kind of fitting that, we're doing this right now, and this is kind of what's going on. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To give some sort of perspective as to how big this place is. Look, I'm from New Zealand, which is tiny. 1,000 square kilometres. If you want to put it into perspective, I could travel to the other side of my country 3 times and still not have covered that distance. It's massive. From where I am to which is halfway down the South Island, sort of about halfway, to get to the northernmost part of the South Island of New Zealand is about 500 kilometres. So, that's you're taking up half my country just burning in the bush out there. So yeah, look, my heart goes out to all those people who have lost some bits and pieces. And look, I hope everything goes well. I think I mentioned to you earlier that it was, I actually kind of thought Canada was all about snow up there, but obviously it's kind of melted away and whatnot,
Yeah, surprisingly, that's half the issue. We didn't get as much snow this year, and there wasn't that snowpack that you need, to really try to prevent stuff like this. I mean, we always have wildfires every year. It's pretty normal. But usually, they're pretty well contained and not so bad, right? And you always need a little bit for regrowth, but this is just, beyond devastating. 100,000 people displaced so far, which is, we're trying in various communities around here to help them out. I live actually 5 minutes away from our international airport, and we've set up a hangar for donations, from people locally that are okay, and other parts of Canada that can ship stuff over. Support has been amazing. It's just we don't know when this is going to end and how bad it'll be when it's all said and done. Some of these fires may burn until the winter. So just to give, you know, hate to start the show off with devastation, but we will go into regrowth, and we will go into, you know, my story somewhat. And, you know, I hate that's kind of what's, you know, looming over, but that's real life, man. It's real time, and it's real life. And, you know, I care a lot for other people, and, you know, I don't think I can go without saying it. So, but on we go. No,
it is what it is. You know, life throws whatever it does at whoever, whenever it wants, and so often we get sort of caught up in just living our lives and our own lives when there's actually other people out there who go through stuff. And, you know, this what is it, Fort McMurray, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is a place that, like you say, is a hub of you know, central Canada, I imagine. So there's a lot of lives that have been affected. So, look, I hope everything turns out well. Look, I don't even know how they're going to contain this. You know, it's a serious. I don't know. I mean, they need rain for sure.
They need the rain. There's no other way to completely fight it off without rain. They also need, you know, here's the real deal, man. From what they're saying is that they're at a point where they're not trying to stop the fire. They're not trying to stop it. They're just keeping it out of the communities as much as possible and trying to save infrastructure as much as they can. And that's the only priority now. There is no, you know, for lack of a better word, there's no stopping this thing. So it's going to go until it's done, and we're just going to, you know, worry about people and infrastructure, and, you know, we'll worry about rebuilding after the fact. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It's scary. It's sad. And, you know, there's lots of videos. I believe I sent you one when we were chatting there the other day.
Yeah.
This guy had his dash cam set up, and it was like, you know, hell on earth, for lack of a better word. You know, just absolutely crazy. And, you know, to be honest, this could happen anywhere. It's so dry here, and it's so, you know, it's just the perfect recipe for this to happen. So,
indeed, it totally is. So that's a crazy introduction to my first show. That's for sure. You know, to go from you know, two guys just talking about our lives to talking about a global incident that's you know, affecting millions of lives. That will probably affect the millions of lives. Not to mention the livelihood of a lot of those people.
Smoke has reached the smoke clouds have reached the United States now, because it's odd, because it's moving north, and I'm south of this fire, so I'm not getting hit as hard with smoke. What's happening is it's moving north and then coming back around and then shooting southeast. So, you know, America is now being affected by this smoke, and, you know, it's you know, a lot of people are gonna feel that now.
Absolutely.
Which is not surprising given the vastness of it. So let's move on, shall we?
All right.
Let's roll
with the punches and just go how we go. So, Jesse, look, you know, I was thinking about the other day, you know, I mean, for lack of a better term, you know, like I say, you know, we were kind of born. I don't know if that's the right term. You know, we sort of came about Scopers Unite around about the same time. I think you were on a week before I was, or whatever it may have been. And I actually think it was your story that sort of inspired me to somewhat. Where I heard your story, and I was like, it's okay to sort of talk about. So, you know, obviously I did my thing, but I wanted to sort of start a show where we were able to talk about the things that we all go through. You know, I mean, I've got my story, but this is about you. So, you know, for those people who will see this, and however it sort of comes about, tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us about some of the stuff that you've endured over the last few years.
Right. So the majority of things, like, and you're right, you know, Periscope and Scopers Unite was kind of like my first ever time that I ever really publicly talked about it, let alone talked about it with anybody. A lot of the stuff I've been through. So I can't, you know, thank the platform enough and the people and the support enough that, you know, have been there from day one, and, I just want to start with that. But yeah, I mean, the start of my story is I was born with just various deformities, facial and just other aspects of my body that were, not right and required a lot of surgery to, basically repair and mold into somewhat of a, normal looking, what you see today, right? Normal looking face, normal looking body, for lack of a better word. And I think the count is somewhere over 24 surgeries in my lifetime. And that, given perspective, I always like to give perspective that's not as bad as, a lot of other people in the world have gone through. And, it was very painful. And there's a lot of rehabilitation, a lot of, issues with painkillers, even as a child. Just, different aspects tying with that. As well, on the flip side of that, there was also, growing up in an environment where there was some abuse as well. So dealing with that at such a young age, and then dealing with, abuse on top of that, really kind of was like a double whammy. Just kind of never really had a good outlook from day one, but it was perseverance, and learning basically how to take that beating in life early kind of really helped me get through, right? It kind of evolves into, as I got older, of course, I go to school, and obviously, given the way I looked and, kind of the way I talked and everything, there was some bullying involved for sure. But that was to be expected. And honestly, the bullying aspect was like minuscule. It was like, after I've gone through all this stuff, this is nothing, because at the end of the day, it was done. We didn't have internet back then, so there was no online bullying. There was no posting of different things and anything like that. So I got to keep perspective. I couldn't imagine going through what I've gone through in today's age. How that may or may not have been far worse. It may have been far worse, but given the right opportunities like Periscope, outlets like that, man, maybe I would have had a better experience too, right? You don't know. I can't really say in hindsight what would have happened if I was born a little later in life, but it is what it is. Gone through those challenges as well. With that background, with having all that, as I grew older, I made not, the best choices in life myself. Obviously, I had the tools and the environment of sort of a self-destructive life, drugs, alcohol, painkillers, absolutely. Because everything that, you can imagine someone going through that would kind of get into, especially, the wrong crowds. Someone shows you love and support, but they're not the best influence, you'll go with them anyway. That whole structure, the whole sort of lifestyle that way. It all applied to me. But at the same time, we evolved through all that. We got through all that. I pulled myself out of that situation on my own. I really didn't have a support base like, I wish I would have had. It would have been probably a lot quicker, but at the same time, I learned to really take care of myself. And, where I'm at today, I couldn't be here without going through all those challenges. I wouldn't want to help other people as bad as I do without knowing what it is like to be helped and knowing what I wish I would have had. It all comes down to that. And, I'm happy with where I've made it. And I realize, and this is the most important thing I want to share for a lot of people is that as things get better, you know, it can happen where you get to relax a little bit. Your mind starts to relax a little bit. Things actually come up that you've kind of put off, and you know you kind of forgotten about because your mind's relaxed. You know, you're not on a trigger anymore. You're just kind of settled, right? And that's a good place to be, but you know, people have to be aware of all that other stuff can come rushing back. And so then that's another obstacle to deal with, because if you didn't know how, or if you didn't deal with those other things correctly in your past, it starts to come back to haunt you. And that's a lot of kind of what I've gone through over the past couple of years, is sort of learning how to deal with that. And my mistake in that was, and it only just recently, my mistake in that was, man, I really got to help other people only, because I felt like I've been selfish, you know, not really sharing my story, not really, you know, helping guide people that are in the same situations. But in essence, I didn't take care of myself even enough then. So I'm still learning. It's still an ongoing process, but man, I mean, it's, I couldn't say that I would do it any other way. I wouldn't do it any other way. It defined me. It made me who I am. And, you know, there's a lot of success to come. A lot of success has come because of that. So
you're exactly right. You know, we go through a lot of our things in life, our trials and struggles, or however you want to phrase it. And so often when you're going through it, you don't see an end to it. You just see this, you become almost tunnel vision, where, you know, all you see is the problem ahead of you. You can't see further. You can't see anywhere around you other than the fact that, you know, the struggle times don't, or seemingly are not going to end. Where, you know, like yourself, you know, you've persisted through the surgeries and all the bits and pieces that you've been through, knowing or holding hope that you know, one day will be your day where you'll be able to come out the other side and go, oh, that was rough. But, you know, now, you know, having seen you grow over the last, since December, you know, for half a year, 6 months or whatever it is, it's, you know, you've moved into your own person. You know, you've you know, I think you mentioned earlier, or, you know, we've spoken about that your social media presence was next to zero, you know, but now, you know, you're all over the show. You're on all forms of social media, and you're out there. You know, you're putting the confidence that you've gained through social media, through your struggles. Because, I mean, look, let's be fair. You know, you're not going to have any confidence unless you go through struggles, because you learn to adapt. And you know, you've done that. You know, and I've seen that. You know, as I watch from afar. For you to be able to do that, it's amazing, and it's awesome. You know, just through a simple app, you know, Periscope, and a small community of Scopers Unite, where it all kind of started. You know, and now you know, look, tell us a little bit about what you're doing at the moment. You know, I mean, I could say, but I'd like to hear it from you. You know, I mean, I know what you're doing personally, but for all those viewers who get to see the replay and all the bits and pieces later on, tell us what it is that you're about now, you know, because I'm quite excited to see where it's all going.
Right. Well, you know, basically, since December, I was, you know, sort of finding myself, like you said, and evolving, and, you know, learning what I had within myself to help other people. And that was my biggest focus, is how do I help other people? You know, and one of the things was, and, you know, it's kind of how I transitioned into what I'm doing now. But I'm like, you know what? You know, the starting point was I'm really good. You know, I got really good at getting my ass kicked one way or another. And I thought, okay, that's good. Not so much in that I can continue to take a beating, but maybe what I can learn from that, what I can tell other people about that is, you know, there's accountability in that. There's accountability in not being a victim, and, you know, shifting that mindset, that mentality into how do I, you know, not become a victim, and how do I take accountability and charge for what's happening to me now and what I'm doing now. Of course, as a child, you know, things are different, and I would never say, you know, children should be accountable for what someone does to them, because that's absolutely not what I'm saying. But as you get older and you become aware, you know, of who you are and what happened to you, I mean, that's the first step, is really having that self-awareness of, you know, coming out of that haze of what your life has been. You start to find, okay, here's where I can help people. And what happened was, I realized, you know, struggles, obstacles, challenges like that, I'm really good at breaking those down. I'm really good at breaking down big obstacles, big projects, based on, you know, my career background, based on my life background. And so I became a accountability coach. And I started rolling out scopes and periscopes and different social media postings all about accountability, because I thought, you know, here I am preaching how you can still get things done no matter what you go through and no matter what's going to come next. You know, it all kind of tied in nicely with who I really am. And, you know, I couldn't take a business approach or a business mindset to anything other than what would tie into who I am, because I don't believe I could give my best effort. And I think it would come off, you know, honestly, I think it'd be a little fake. And I think it'd be a little bit harder for me to sell to myself, let alone harder to sell to other people, because I wouldn't be as passionate. You know what? Despite my social media growth and what I've done, honestly, I'm not a social media guy. I'm not a social media expert. I'm learning from others. I'm getting coaching from others. And, you know, I realize that's not my strength. But what I can do is keep people consistent, you know, keep people accountable, obviously daily, as much as possible, because I think no matter what level of success you can have, you can fall off at any point, and we all do it, and we're all guilty of it, myself included. That's another thing, man, like doing what I do to help people in that sense, you got to believe it helps me too. It helps me stay on point. What better sort of environment to get my stuff done than to be the guy to help other people get their stuff done and lead by example. So, you know, that for me is kind of like the cherry on top, so to speak. You know, it's win-win for everybody. And, you know, again, I feel really good about it because it's coming from the heart. It's coming from who I am. And, you know, it's something I really believe in and will do forever. I mean, it may take different forms. It may take different, you know, projects and different capacities, but I'll forever be tied to that. Because that brand, that decision to be that person didn't come from a focus group or keyword research or anything like that. It came from looking within myself. And, you know, that's a big quality that I think in today's age, especially, you need to bring to the table. And just for your own sanity, really. So yeah, that's that in a nutshell.
That's that in a nutshell. That's awesome. Like, and it's funny how you were saying that you've moved into accountability coaching, and you know, we had a conversation probably 5 weeks ago or thereabouts, and I was just telling you an idea and about having the show, and you the first thing that came out of your fingers when you were texting or messaging was, so when's it starting? And I'm like, well, it was just an idea. So, you know, and you made me, I felt the need to actually go, right, rather than talk about it, actually do it. So, you know, looked at my calendar and I said to you, all right, it's going to be this date. So you helped me, you know, making those accountability movements for me, you know, by you saying, hey, look, let's get this show underway. I've actually sort of, you know, taken a bit of a step and learned from what it is to be accountable, you know. So You saying to me, let's get it done, I'm like, oh, okay, yep, right. So let's get it done. So, so being accountable is very important. You're not going to get anything done if you're not accountable to anybody, And I've got people that I talk to all the time, and I know you do as well. So it's all these little goals that we set for ourselves is the importance of it all. But, you're definitely right. Hey, look, I've got some little questions. I like to throw some Harvey specials, and I mentioned to you a couple of times over the thing some items that you've got.
Right.
But before we do that, I've got some crazy little questions. Did a little bit of study on Canada and learning different terms and bits and pieces. So I want to know, we'll call the section, how well do you know your country?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, he says. So, look, how many time zones, question one, how many time zones are there in Canada?
Oh, man, I want to say at least 5 or 6 off the top of my head.
Nice. Yeah, well, there's actually 6, but, you're definitely up there. Look, New Zealand only has 1, because we're just this, a skinny little a country, whereas, Canada's what, the second largest country in the world or something like that. I don't know.
Right, yeah, we got land mass, yeah, it's just
land mass wise, yeah. But you also have the largest coastal line. Anyway, so hey, look, there's a famous saying, or there's a famous I don't know, an item in Saskatchewan, and it's called a bunny hug. Do you know what that is?
A bunny hug.
Yeah.
Bunny hug. That must be a Saskatchewan term that I haven't heard yet. Man, I'd have to Google that one.
That's all right.
But,
look,
bunny.
You don't have to do that. I was just like, you look up random facts because I kind of want to have a little bit of a chill time with you. And
it's all good, man. I mean, we really do have a diverse, different provinces have their different things and different sayings, and I would not be surprised if there's things that I don't pick up on or haven't heard. We all have there's different accents, believe it or not, we all have different accents, and Canada is a melting pot in and of itself. There's people from many countries here that have immigrated over, and that's what's great about it. But that's one I'm gonna Google later for sure.
Well, you could Google it. I actually know the answer, but I've got a couple of friends in here in New Zealand, and they call each other bunny, and obviously they give each other hugs and stuff. Married couple, and but bunny hug. So a bunny hug to me is a cuddle, but in this area, a bunny hug is a hoodie, and I'm like, well, how do you get bunny hug from a hoodie? I don't know.
Really?
Canada, eh? Yeah, there you go. Super.
That's a new one. Yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't know that.
No, that's fine. Look, did you know that basketball was invented in Canada?
I did. We the guy that invented it used peach baskets, and what he did was he cut a little hole at the bottom, and then they had a pole, and so every time they got a basket, they had to take this pole and jab the ball back out of the basket. That's how it started.
That's how it all started. I knew, obviously you only ever hear about the NBA or whatever it is, and I kind of assumed it was American sport, but no, there you go, Canada claiming fame. That's brilliant. Hey, look, I've got a whole bunch of questions, but we don't need to go through all of the questions. What I want to say, look, you've got some items there that I asked you to bring along, and
right.
I see. Steve's come in. Hi, Steve. Welcome.
Steve.
We've got Jennifer, who's been here, long-serving custodian of this Blab show. We've got some items that I asked you to kind of bring along. Item number 2. What is that item that you've got? Item number 2.
Number 2. What did I say? Number 2 was. If you remember. We had number 1. What was number 2 again, man? Oh, okay. I remember. Notebook. This notebook is full of you know, with accountability coaching, I have to track my own goals and goals of my clients and, you know, people I work with. So it's just loaded to the nines with different notes. I'm gonna need a new one soon. And you know what I like about it is when I first got this, I could have got a nice fancy planner, which I'll get to, because planners and things like that nature are actually quite big, quite popular, and you know, I like the variety that you can get with these. But for anyone looking to write down your goals, and we talk about success, you know, you don't have to start with, you don't have to go out and get anything fancy. I mean, this thing, I don't know if you can see, costs $2, and $2, you need a pen. That's it. Start writing your goals in there. They don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be, you know, elaborately thought out. Just start putting stuff to paper, and you know, watch your dreams literally start to, you know, come off the sheets.
Unfold.
Unfold, yeah.
Nice. I love that. I love the fact that, you know, being able to just jot down, like, it might be a goal, you know, it might be a small goal, you know, walk 2Ks, tick it off, it's done. And they'll become bigger. They'll become, you know, a lot more solidified with being able to achieve the larger goals. Because it's all about small steps, isn't it? You know, there's so many cheesy. I call them cheesy, but they're not really cheesy. They're truth. You know, you look at the road is long, and it's hard and it's difficult to get to the top of the mountain. But you know, you're not going to get to the top of the mountain without going through the hard stuff, i.e., the climbing, all the, you know, passing through the rocks and the trials and the valleys and all those things. So, you know, it's so important to be writing or jotting down your little goals, because further down the track, you don't want to be setting yourself little goals, because you're like, there's no accomplishment there. There's no sense of being able to achieve a small goal. You know, I can run, you know, 10Ks today, but, you know, you're not really comfortable with running 10Ks. So you've got to start small, you know, start with your 1K or whatever it might be. So, but that's perfect. Hey, look, I know you're reading a book. What's your current book at the minute? Or book?
Okay. This book, it's one I keep coming back to. I've read it a few times, actually, and what I like about it is it's a book you can keep coming back to. It's called Relentless by Tim Grover. From good to great to unstoppable. A little background on who Tim Grover is. Tim Grover is, lack of a better word, the life coach of athletes like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. You know, we were talking about basketball earlier, and many other big names. I tell you what, you know how you know, if you're about to do a workout and you want to listen to some music and get yourself pumped up, there is literally phrases and paragraphs and chapters in this book that will do the same effect. They will get you psyched up. They will get you in a place in your mind where, you know, you realize what you haven't been doing and what you need to be doing. And that's what I love about it. It's you know, and that's why I say I keep coming back to it, because it's almost like a great song that gets you motivated, and there's so much in there that can, you know, get you in that zone. And so I recommend that book for everybody. It doesn't need to be like, you know, if you don't have that personality of, you know, I'm gonna go out and get everything and, you know, rah rah rah. It doesn't need to be that, but it can help you put yourself in a zone where, you know, you kind of take that emotion out of it, or you use it to your advantage. Whatever suits your personality. It's great like that. So that's the book. Highly recommend it. Go and buy it today if you can. I checked out the audio version. Usually, I prefer audio books as opposed to the sit down and read. But honestly, this is one, even if you prefer audiobooks, go and get the hard copy of this. So take notes.
Brilliant. Excellent. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know. I was like, you know, I know you're reading content. You've just said that you've read it a few times, so I'm going to give it away. I'm going to purchase that book and send it to someone. Someone on this chat thing. look, Jennifer, you have been listening from the start, so I'm going to send you this book. There you
Awesome.
go, done and dusted. Hey, look, thanks guys for coming in. You know, we're kind of getting on. I know time's short, and you know we've got stuff to do in bits and pieces. But I'm just going to unlock the seat here. If anyone wants to jump in, i.e., I know who I'd like to come in. But anyway,
there you go.
You never know. You know, someone who. Hey, Jennifer, just send me your you can send me an email. My social media. Where can we find you? Social media.
For myself, you can find me on Facebook. Let me see if I can get the link here. It's my name, Jesse Johnson, and you know, of course, I'm all over. I'm on Periscope as well, at Jesse Johnson's with an S. The extra S is not actually part of my last name. It's just a username issue. So I used to like to joke about it. The extra S stands for success. But you know, of course, Periscope, Twitter, places like that, Snapchat as well, same username. You know, just sort of all over the place, man. People can find me, and not a hard guy to get a hold of once you do. So
some links here. We can send some. We've got some links that we can find you in on. So we've got at Jesse Johnson. Is that how we find you on Periscope, Twitter, all of the above?
Right. Yeah, and let's type that in here for everybody.
Here we go.
Here as well, obviously, it's the same username, and I will try to get the link for my personal page. Here we go, and I'll paste that in as well. Jesse Johnson 2.0 is my Facebook page.
Next level.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Makes sense. So, yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
And
thanks.
Yeah,
thanks.
perfect.
Thanks for sharing that in there. Hey, look, you know, this is just obviously this is the first episode, which is always a little somewhat crazy, but I don't know. You know, we'll keep going. The mountain's tall, so I don't know where it's going. I'm just going to keep doing it, and you know, get anyone on who wants to come on and just share about their life, where they're going, where they're heading, and all of that sort of carry on. Look, and next week, I've already got a wee guest for us, which awesome. Is for those of you who are in here, you get a wee sneak peek as to knowing who this person is. It's actually Steve Gadsby.
Cool.
He's coming on next week to share a little bit about himself and what he's doing and where he's going and all that sort of carry on. Which I kind of figure, you know, for me, that's you know, it's quite important to have the people that you enjoy being around. And you know, I reached out to Steve, and he was more than happy to come on. So I'm super stoked that he's coming in on this sort of show that I've kind of tried to create.
That's awesome, man. You know, it's a natural fit. I mean, Steve being the sort of the brainchild of Scopers Unite, and you know, really brought you and I together and a lot of people together. So absolutely awesome guest to have.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree. You know, and you know, appreciate your time that you've put into creating such a wonderful family. You know, we're all around the world. You know, Canada and New Zealand are just a couple of the places that we're at the minute. So
it literally is all around the world. I met so many people from, you know, all around the world, all walks of life, and you know, I wouldn't have changed it. I know another item that we had talked about bringing to the show, if you don't mind.
No, absolutely. I was just buffed it out there, but you jumped the gun.
I'll just show it off. This phone, you know, Grant Cardone, for those of you that know him, he talks about, you know, selling and sales, and you know, your phone is a weapon and you got to go out and get it. And man, this phone for me is literally a lifesaver. Not only for me, but for many other people with the lengths of these platforms. Blab, you know, Blab, for all of its technical difficulties on my end, it's still amazing. It's free. It brings people together. Periscope, of course, Facebook, all the other ones, Twitter, Snapchat, it brings people together, and it really is life changing and life saving for a lot of people. So that's why that is, obviously an important item to me. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to pull it right from under you, but
that's all right.
We're on that track. So
no, we are, and this, in today's day and age, look, I remember when we had those phones that were like this big and the bright orange, the Alcatel phones, where you had to text. You're sitting there trying to get to the letter Z, pushing it 5 times, and just like it was a pain. But nowadays, basically, it's a handheld computer / organizer, all that fits in your pocket. And I don't imagine that there'll be many people that don't actually have one of these things. That and as you say, you've got your wee planner there as well, and your phone serves a purpose, and the purpose is to help organise your day, to being able to remain accountable to yourself, because it's what it is. It's important, And although there are different social medias and bits and pieces out there that we all sort of are a part of, our phones, is important to us, because it helps us keep in contact with everybody. Without your phone, when you're out and about taking photos of your family or whatever we are, without it, we'd be omnipresent.
I mean, it is a lifeline, and I go back to this joke. I believe it was Joe Rogan that said this. If I give you, an axe and I put you in the woods, how long before you come out with a new cell phone? It's really true. It's very, we sometimes forget about, how complex it is, and yet how much it's connected the world. And it's just, a lot of people would say, people are addicted to it. And yeah, you know what? I'm addicted to connecting with people because I've lived my life practicing avoidance. So, that, to a fault, I agree.
Absolutely. We've got a person coming in. Not sure if you're aware of who this person is. I don't. But look, we'll go with it. Should we? Why not?
We can roll.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, eh?
Absolutely.
So the caller is Seamus Alberto. There we go. Click. Dang. Ding.
Always good to meet new people, so.
It is.
The Mexican Irishman.
What's going on? Yeah. Look, it's all good, man.
We had a 50-50 shot, man. We go for it anyway.
We did. We went
there
for it. There you go. Done and dusted.
Perfect.
That's brilliant. Nice. Thanks very much. Hey, look, Jesse, let's call it quits. So we can get some pieces done. Thanks for an awesome show. Look, I know it's the first one's done and dusted. We will, I'll repurpose this and send it your way for sure. And, you can add it to your site and cut it up or however you want to do it. So, I don't know.
Absolutely, man. I'm honored that you had me as your first guest. I hope we do this again. I hope this, turns into what you hope it'll be. And, I can't wait for next week for Steve. And, I'll be on there as a guest, absolutely. And I'm just, happy for you, man. I'm glad you did it. Like we talked about, I said, what's the date? And you held your end of it, and we did it. So thank you very much.
No, look, it's been great having you on here, mate. And look, I'm looking forward to seeing your movements, because I know you're rocking with some big players out there. And I'm just as excited for you. I can see who you're rolling with through social media, and it's super exciting. I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that you've gone through what you've gone through, and you've flipped the script, and now you are a accountability coach, holding people accountable. So, which is amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm not ashamed to say that.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that. And I'll just say this before we go. I do plan to come to Vegas, Kim. I saw that.
Oh, nice.
No matter where I go from here or what happens to myself, I know that I'll always, like I talked about, I always come from the heart, and I'd always be there for someone if they need. Reach out to me, not just on a business level, but on a personal level. I've always put that out there. I'm never gonna get too big of a head. I may get busy. That's a good thing. That means I can help more people. But I'm always here, and I really appreciate everyone's time watching, and continuing to support me on the side and behind the scenes. I love it all. So thank you very much, man.
No worries, it's fine. Look, I'll just push the old stop button on the record here. Hey, look, if anyone needs to find me, I am available now on hansfreller.com. There's a wee thing up there, that with a .com at the end of it, and you can find me there. You can reach out, and look, also we have a bunch of things happening. Just look, it's busy. But everybody has a story. Everybody goes through some stuff, and it's so often we keep looking at our feet as we go through our go-through. Keep your head up, look towards the future, and there are successes out there for everybody who goes through some stuff, no matter how far away it may seem. And even if you're in that dark place, there will be a light at the end of this tunnel. So look, I know Jesse has a quote that he lives by, where he's come up with, which I love, actually. I think it's a great quote. Jesse, you can say it, mate. What's
all
that
right,
quote
man.
you love to have?
We'll close it out. We'll close it out with
the wow
this.
moment. The wow moment. Words of wisdom. There we go. Words of wisdom. Wow.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. The quote is, you guys, if you can't be relentless, or if you can't be great today as well, at least be accountable. That's all I would ask of anybody. So have a great one, you guys. Thanks again, Hans.
That is awesome.